What's up, YouTube? This is James coming back at you with another informative video. I hope everybody's doing well out there on this Friday evening. I'm doing pretty good myself. Shabbat Shalom to all the brothers and sisters in recognition to observing this day to worship the Most High. Sundown this evening to sundown tomorrow evening. Let's make sure we get some worship and praises in, personally and collectively as a nation. With everything that's going on in this world, in this country, we definitely need it as Hebrew children, you know? This is a 1 minute and 12-second video of Chris, it's Cuomo. I'm going to just say Cuomo. I don't know if his name is Chris or not. It says here, Cuomo wants legislation to pass Amy Cooper 911 false accusation bill. Okay? Let's check this video out right here, then I'll get into my commentary.
Transparency of prior disciplinary records of a police officer. If they're being charged and investigated for abuse, their prior disciplinary record is relevant. And by the way, it's relevant one way or the other. If there were no other disciplinary proceedings, that can exonerate the person who is charged. If there are prior disciplinary proceedings for this type of behavior, then yes, it is evidentiary. But people should know. Chokeholds. We went through this with Eric Garner. Again, you saw it with Mr. Floyd's death, but we learned it first with Eric Garner and many, many other cases, by the way. Why? We've seen 9/11 calls, which are race-based false calls. A false 9/11 call based on race should be classified as a hate crime in the state of New York. We know that it's wrong for the local district attorney to investigate the police force from that county.
First, I want to say shout out to the sister queen I know, who I am, for sending me this story right here. Duly appreciated, sister. Because, this is out of control, with these lowlifes like Amy Cooper and all the rest of these Karens and shit, calling police, telling lies on black people. Something's got to be done about it. Okay, like he said, Cuomo wants state lawmakers to pass Amy Cooper 911 false accusation bill. Here's the deal for me. Here's where I'm at about it. I'm just really fed up with us waiting for the system to basically give us justice about common sense things like shit like this. For example, we know for a fact anytime someone that will call the police and bear false witness, tell a lie on that person, that it should be held as a hate crime or what have you. You see, the system is so damn corrupt to the point to where I just don't trust in it to the point to give black people justice. It just came across me today in a story. I think Cedric Hito, he did it. He did this story about a young black man in his 20s. Was named Robert Fuller. Okay, found hanging in Palmdale, California. Okay, you see, and just like with that, the police ruled it as suicide. Black people ain't hanging themselves, okay? More than likely, in my opinion, you got a group of rogue-ass police officers going around doing shit like this, you see? And not only that, anything that these low-life racist pigskins see police officers get away with doing, with murdering, black people. They want to congregate and do the same damn thing. See, and this is my point. I'm tired of waiting for the system to so-called give us justice. What's going to have to happen? Black people are going to have to congregate and get organized and start fighting this kind of evil, this kind of tyranny. You see, because after all, these are the offenders. Whether they wearing badges or not, they are offenders. They are committing crimes, okay? And they're lying. They're telling lies. You know what I mean? They're keeping shit hush hush, you know what I'm saying, or what have you. You know, you got so-called law enforcement officers running with mobs, knocking on people's doors. You know what I mean? Just like this one story I did about a large, it was a group, and it had a sheriff's deputy terrorized a mother and their son, her 18-year-old son, in their house. This is what a lot of law enforcement officers are doing. You know, grouping up with racist civilians. You know, that happened in North Carolina, by the way. Just I think it was like a month or two ago. You know, and knocked on their door, trying to get in there to get her son, questioning him, and all that old kind of shit in the middle of the night with guns. All right, you see. Now, we're not in slavery. All right, I get tired of hearing that shit for us to get free and all that. We're already free. Our ancestors fought during the times to get us where we are to this day. And I ain't lying. It seems like, to me, with this attitude that we got, you know what I'm saying, docile attitude, that is, that we just going backward and letting these motherfuckers do what the fuck we want to do. We have way more guns as a nation of people than we've ever had. All right, than our ancestors have, and by some kind of chance, which I know what that thing was the Most High, that blessed them to fight back. Okay, so what I'm saying, I'm tired of looking to the system, you know, to do something that's really just common knowledge, common sense. They know when these motherfuckers call law enforcement lying on people, or wherever one of these roguish ass racist police officers choke to death or jump a black man and choke him to death and all that kind of shit. They drag their feet about arresting them, talking about getting justice, down to just a little secret mob of pigskin racists getting together looking for a soft target, a young black man or a young black woman to go out and hang or beat to death, whatever it is. We can't let it get back to the way it was way, way back in the dark ages. Our ancestors did something about that shit, and they did fight. And I ain't talking about it was more to it than marching and singing. All right, they just want to lead you to think that that's how they accomplished. You know what I mean? What we got to this day, that's a lie. Because if that's all they ever did, we never would be where we are today. We wouldn't. There was bloodshed. There was. But the books, they want to keep that stuff secret. Because they don't want to, empower you on just how strong you are as a people. All right? We have to put the Most High first. We have to pray. We have to seek Him, not the white man's system. Because if you look at the white man's system, well, hey, they always talking about go and vote. We've been voting for years. We have been voting for years. What the fuck has changed? Nothing. It's the same damn thing. And I don't believe in voting to give somebody consent to rule over me. That's all you're doing when you vote. And you see how they rule over you. All right? Now to get into this story right here, as we know, it says this is in Albany, Governor Andrew Cuomo. I said Chris Cuomo. I think Chris is his brother. If I'm not mistaken, I might be mistaken, but it says here, Governor Andrew Cuomo wants state lawmakers to pass a bill next week making it a hate crime when 911 callers make a false accusation based on race, gender, or religion. The legislation, first introduced in 2018 and carried by Assemblyman Felix Ortiz, Democrat or whatever, Brooklyn, was rejuvenated last month by a now viral incident in Central Park showing Amy Cooper, a white woman, calling the cops on a black man after a harmless dispute over her dog. We've seen 911 calls, which are race-based false calls. A false 911 call based on race should be classified as a hate crime in the state of New York, Cuomo said during his now daily briefing in Albany Friday. He's added it to a list of law enforcement reform policies he's supporting when the legislature returns to session in Albany Monday. Ortiz told the Post violators could face between 1 and 5 years in prison in accordance with the state's hate crime statute. If the motivation for reporting such crime is motivated by a perception or belief about their race, color, national origin, ancestry, gender, religion, religious practices, age, disability, or sexual orientation. This hoe right here had her stinking ass in the park, with her dog loose. Okay, this Amy Cooper. All right. And some brother was out there bird watching, and all he asked her was basically to, put her dog on a leash so he don't frighten away the birds or whatever. And she went into her little bullshit, weaponized her tears, called the police, and said that the man was attacking her and every damn thing else. You see this kind of shit. I'm telling you, these are real offenders of the law. Okay? They getting slapped on the wrist. When you kill somebody, you are a murderer. You are an offender. When you lie on somebody, all these things are worthy of capital punishment by biblical law standards that the Most High set for us to live by. We're not living by these standards. We're relying on the white man's judicial system to slap these offenders on the wrist when this kind of shit is done to us as a people. We can't keep doing this. We cannot keep doing this shit. We can't. Black Lives Matter, they say. Well, let's prove it. You see what I'm saying? In conclusion here, it says the bottom line is we should be using better judgment. Racism gets created, and I think that by making false reporting because of gender or religion is completely unacceptable and intolerable, he said. Cuomo backed several additional measures in his legislative agenda, including reforming the controversial 50-A section of the civil rights law allowing transparency on prior disciplinary records of law enforcement officers, banning chokeholds usage by law enforcement, naming the Attorney General independent prosecutor for cases concerning deaths of unarmed civilians caused by law enforcement. All right. Lawmakers in the state Senate and Assembly met via video and phone conference Friday evening, with sources telling the Post negotiations might need to extend into the weekend. One Democratic Assembly member said negotiations over 50-A, have been particularly strained, with discussions heated up between downstate and upstate polls. We have the votes, the members. It says we have the votes, the member added. All right. This shit goes without saying, man. Like I said, they act like they got the vote. Every damn thing is. These people out here lying on folks, killing people, and every damn thing else, and y'all talking about voting. I am urging black people, us as a people, Hebrew children, to congregate, assembly, and organize. You see what I mean? And get ready to combat this tyranny. Get ready to combat these fucking criminals. You see what I mean? This is what we have to do as a people. Because if we don't, this shit is going to continue to happen more and more and more on a frequent basis. This is what you see. This is what happens when you let reprobates run loose, whether they wear badges or not. That's just what it is. Y'all tell me what y'all think about this article right here. I'm interested in hearing y'all thoughts, views, and opinions on it. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. People, please remember to live your life as though we are being watched, because they watching. And when I say they're watching, I'm talking about the spirits. They are watching. I see them every day, and I see them every night. Big ones, big, frightening looking things. I'm telling you, you know. And that's all I got on this one. This is James, and I'm out. Peace.